Hello everyone, Tim Wilmot here from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for this presentation to show you the capabilities of Workbooks CRM, what areas of your business it can address, and how my company, Wizard Systems, can help you with your CRM project. Now, we run these short presentations normally every Friday, focusing on different aspects of Workbooks and CRM generally. And today we're going to look more closely at customer support. How can you use Workbooks to manage your customer support team and services? Now, this presentation will be about half an hour or so in duration. Just a basic session. Every company is going to use CRM in subtly different ways. Everyone's got different requirements. And I wouldn't have enough time this morning to go over all of the extensive capabilities of Workbooks and how you can use it for a support operation. So after this session, if you want to explore Workbooks in a bit more detail, we'd love to organize more of a one-to-one session with you and your colleagues, and then we can obviously go over your specific needs. Now, also on the call today, I know some people are already on the free Workbooks trial, so you may be a little bit familiar with some of the things I'm going to talk about, so apologies for that, but I need to obviously be vigilant with people that have never seen it before, and there are a few people on the call I know today who are fresh to Workbooks. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. Your microphone is on mute. Don't worry about any background noises your end. If you've got any questions, please type those into the questions section on your meeting control panel, and I'll do my best to answer those at the end. Also, this call is being recorded. You'll get an email from our system, an automatic email from our system, maybe in a day or so's time with a link to the email you can play back at your leisure, and we'll most likely pop it up on our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so let's get started. Brief mention about my company, Wizard Systems, long-time supplier of CRM solutions. We've implemented well over 3,000 systems in our time, all over the UK and further afield into all different types of companies and organizations and sizes of organizations. Now, with Workbooks, it's a cloud solution. There's nothing to install. You can be up and running very, very quickly indeed. And we do have some customers that have implemented their own Workbook systems, taught themselves how to use it. There are resources available to you if that's the path you want to take. But we're here on hand. This is our speciality. And every week we're helping companies implement new CRM systems. So we're here on hand to help you every step of the way, any aspect of implementation, setup, customization, importing data from other systems, integrating Workbooks to other applications. We provide a wide range of services. Also training. We can train you at your site. You can come to us, or we can do it online. And finally, we've got a friendly, responsive help desk ready to answer any of your calls. So in working with you, what we want to look at is, what are you looking to achieve with a CRM solution? Are you a startup company? You recognize you need something to help with business development? Are you wanting to improve the way you do your quotes? What we're talking about today, how you manage your support team. You're looking to smarten up your act there. Maybe you're replacing an older CRM system and you want to replace it with something newer like Workbooks. So what we try and establish in working with you at the very outset is, what are the issues? What are the objectives you're looking to achieve? Maybe try and build in some ROI, some financial ROI into the equation as well, so that we can, once we've implemented Workbooks, we can sort of look back and think, well, after the over the last 3 months, 6 months, we've achieved savings of this, or we've achieved better sales, and tangible evidence, tangible benefit of the implementation of Workbooks. So what is Workbooks? Well, it's a central, easy to use system for you to manage all of the information about your business contacts and your interactions with those contacts as well. There's some clever marketing tools in the system also, more on this shortly. Unusually for a CRM solution. It can also create quotes, orders, and invoices, tracking financial activity, financial transactions with your customers. Not many other systems can do that. We can with Workbooks. Customer service, which is what we're here to discuss a bit more detail today. And of course, as well as it being a great personal productivity tool to all of your customer-facing people, it's a great management tool as well. So there's some tools in there to help you make decisions. If you're a manager, if you're the MD, you can use this to help you see what's going on, what's working well, what isn't working well, and help you make decisions. Now, Workbooks is a UK system. All of the data is held very, very securely in the UK with a level of security that most small, mid-sized companies, I'm sure, could not afford on their own. Very, very secure. Very reliable as well. Last year we had an uptime of 100%. It's always going to be there for you, wherever you are, whatever device. And it's won lots of awards, both in the UK and internationally as well, across a wide range of areas: ease of use, value for money, customizability. So just homing in on some of those aspects in a little bit more detail just before we dive into the demo proper. So at the heart of Workbooks, like any other CRM system, is a ready-made database to allow you to track information about the people you deal with, your customers, your prospects, your leads, your suppliers. There is a concept of a lead record in Workbooks, which is quite nice. So when you get a new inquiry, that goes in as a lead record, and it's then converted in the system as you go down the sales process. Very customizable is Workbooks. Shortly when I show the system, the screens can be changed. I'll sort of describe where that appears, and we have done a number of Friday presentations before on what you can change in Workbooks, how do you go about customizing it. You can also deploy different security levels with Workbooks. Not normal, but if you've got a big team and Team A can't see Team B's prospects, customers, activities, opportunities, that sort of thing, or vice versa, that's also what you can do with Workbooks. So you can really go to town with defining levels of security. Of course, you're using it to manage your activities, your calls, your meetings, your tasks. That too can be customized. If you've got a special type of activity that you want to track, or special information about that activity, that can all be tweaked very, very easily by you, so you're tracking it going forwards. So you're building up a lovely history of what's happening with that client. Very useful from a customer service point of view, an account management point of view, to know what went on, who, when, why, what was the next step, and so on. We can integrate with any email system, especially Outlook and Exchange. But if you're using Yahoo, Apple, Mail, doesn't matter. As you send and receive emails from Workbooks, they are being copied into the communications history, the emails of that customer, together with the attachments. Nice way of tracking all of your online activity. They are still in your email system. Now, Workbooks can also be used as a powerful marketing tool. Increasingly, companies are using email marketing as a great campaign tool to drive promotions forwards and their presence in their marketplace, and that's very much the case with Workbooks. But you've got a great way of importing and exporting data. Again, we cover importing data on one of our Friday sessions. How easy is it to take data, say, from an Excel spreadsheet and get that into Workbooks and start working with that information? Now, because Workbooks is a cloud application, there's a number of ways in which we can integrate with web forms. I will be showing this with customer service. So because it's a cloud application, we can open out in a secure way parts of the system to our customers. Very important for maybe attracting new clients. If you've got a contact form on your website and people fill that in, what happens to it right now? Maybe it spits out an email and it goes to someone in marketing. Well, that can all be automated and tracked automatically with Workbooks integration to a web form. Workbooks can actually create the web form and with its sort of background automation registration, is automatically creating a record and alerting someone to this new inquiry coming in. So nothing slips through the net, and someone, a named individual or group of individuals, you can do that as well with Workbooks, will get a notification of this new inquiry. Great way of making sure nothing is forgotten about. Now, before embarking on an email campaign, there's so many ways in Workbooks of creating lists. About 6 different ways of creating lists to create a target list of people to mail to for a particular campaign. And we integrate with a number of very well-known email marketing systems: MailChimp, Constant Contact, and .mailer. We've also just introduced a new integration to a powerful UK email marketing system called Gatormail from Communicator. As I say, it's a UK system, and very, very close integration with Workbooks, to the point where every response and information coming back from that email that goes to the customer is tracked in the Workbook system, available readily to your Workbooks users and reporting on it and so on. Great integration with Gatormail there. And another add-on option that we have is Web Insights. So this is where we can integrate, again, with your websites, your blogs, social networking activity, and have Workbooks automatically track the online journey of your customer. So when you send an email to them, when you get a new inquiry, and the customer is visiting different pages on your website, and then they suddenly click on the prices page or something like that, you can see that information and you can apply weightings to it. So you can then rank your customers based on that journey. So, as the name suggests, useful insights into who are your top prospects, who are your top customers right now. Very useful information for salespeople to see. So, CRM systems are all about, as well as tracking information, tracking processes in your company. And a pretty important process will be the sales process or the order process. And a part of that is the ability to create nice looking customer quotations that go to the customer. Here's an example here of a quotation, PDF type quotation. We can store pretty pictures that we can make the quote really nice looking. You can store your price list in Workbooks. So do you get pricing from suppliers or manufacturers you deal with? Great way of having that imported and managing it all in a central place. You can define different quote layouts for different quote situations. Maybe you're the sort of company that has a very short format quote, or maybe you're more of a proposal style layout, multi-page document, because of the complexity of your services. So we can adapt to either scenario, and all fully integrated with opportunity management, opportunity tracking, which is another big part of a CRM solution, the way to track your inquiries, your jobs, your projects. You can call it what you want. So as you create these quotes, they're updating the opportunity. Maybe one job will consist of multiple quotes over time. They're all accumulated together that build up that overall opportunity. And so what we have with Workbooks is the ability to track the complete customer journey, with the ability also to create orders and invoices. So these quotes that you produce from Workbooks, they go to a customer. The customer could approve of that, and that then can be converted to an order or an invoice. So you've got, if you think about it, you've got a tool that can manage the whole customer journey, from getting the inquiry, or starting off with initial campaign, doing the inquiry, going through qualification, negotiation, creating the quote for the customer, getting the order, creating POs to suppliers, delivering the product, fulfilling the product, invoicing the customer, and then the story starts again, marketing back to your customer base. The easiest way to do it, all with one system. We do actually integrate with some well-known accounting systems out there. So Sage 50, Sage 200, QuickBooks Xero, a few of them there. So no need to retype information with that integration. Right, so what we're here to discuss today is customer service. So this is included with Workbooks. The ability to track customer service and support issues, again, all very customizable. I'll take you through this in a minute. So a nice screen layout for tracking a service issue. You may have different types of issues. So the nice thing you can do with Workbooks that's a little bit tricky with some other CRM systems is the ability to have different screen layouts for the same type of record. So if you take a product return call, or you have some kind of implementation call, these types of calls may require the user to track different information. So the screen layout can be different depending on the type of support call that you're creating. So you can do that with many other record types in Workbooks as well. Quite nice to make the information relevant to the user, so they're not being bombarded with prompts or fields that aren't relevant to the information they're needing to track at that time. You can also apply deadlines. So this is where we can track service level agreements, SLAs, which is a terminology you might be familiar with. The ability to say to Workbooks, when we record this customer support problem, we must respond within 2 working hours. So if it's 4:30 in the afternoon and your working day finishes at 5:30, well, there's got to be a response. You start the following working day, say at 9. You've got to have a response by 10 a.m. the following day. That is an example of an SLA. It might be something that you have internally, or it might be some agreement with the customer. You may have different types of SLAs. So we can create these SLAs. They're in the background in Workbooks 24/7. It's monitoring itself, keeping you on your toes and observing these target deadlines as well. So you're building up a wonderful history of these issues that you're having with your customers. That's tremendously useful to go back and look at. You're building up a knowledge base of these problems as well and typical solutions to them. So going forward, you're improving your whole service delivery and how you're managing these calls, or cases or tickets as they're called. Right, last slide before we dive into the demo proper. So putting your manager's hat on here, a great way, hopefully, as you can see, for having one simple solution, powerful solution to manage all of your activity levels. How many calls you're doing, how many inquiries you're getting, how many leads you're working on right now. Workbooks is going to give you answers to these questions. As I said already, big part of it is opportunity management, sales forecasting, pipeline management, call it what you will. So finding out, getting Workbooks to give you some kind of picture over sales coming in, sales you've made, by product type, by salesperson. You can slice and dice the information in any way you can with the reporting tool in Workbooks. There's a report writer with about 50 or so reports to get you started. You can create your own reports as well. Nice pretty colors can be used to draw your attention to important information. And complementary to that, we've got dashboards as well. So more of a summary of some important information going on in Workbooks as regards new inquiries or activity levels, marketing, customer support. I'll show you an example of a customer support dashboard in a minute. Okay, so live demo time now. Two objectives here, just to show you what the interface looks like. Just a basic overview of the key bits of information, the key things that Workbooks does, and then we'll take a little bit of a dive into how you manage customer support activity in Workbooks and different tools you've got in there to help you. So here we are. This is Workbooks. I've just logged in very, very securely with my email address, and what we see initially is the Workbooks desktop, which will look familiar to you. It looks like your Windows desktop with that start button. Do you see down in the bottom left hand corner, and to the right of that there's a Google-like search box where you can type in any word or phrase. This will find it for you in the system. But from that start button, you've got your start menu, and depending on who you are, what your level of access is, you may see more things or less things here, but I'm logged on as an administrator today, so I can show you everything. But right at the top there, we've got people and organizations. The distinction between companies and contacts: you have records of companies and then records of people within that company that you deal with, separate records yet joined together. You may be dealing with some large companies, so you want to have a tool that allows you to track all the information about the company and all of the people you deal with within that company, and so on down this menu. Looking at your activities, your emails, your cases we'll come on to a minute, your sales if you're a salesperson, sales director, this is where you'll be living here. Looking at your leads, your opportunities, what outstanding quotes have you got, what's your team's sales forecast looking like. Marketing section here if you're a marketing person. If you're in finance, that's where you can track your orders, invoices. We can also track customer contracts as well, very relevant to customer service, of course. This is an add-on module. I'll cover pricing at the end. This is an add-on module. So do your customers have contracts with you? Do you need to track detailed information about them, the equipment that they've got on this contract, and calls that you're logging against this contract? That can all be done with Workbooks, and reporting and some admin-y type things down the bottom there. Right, so if I go to organizations, this is showing you typically what Workbooks looks like. So I've selected organizations. Up comes the organizations landing page, a bit like an Excel spreadsheet, row by row there, summarizing some of the companies in my system. You can decide what columns you see there. You can put people into different lists as well, so you can instantly see, for example, here's one I created previously. Show me all my prospects. Show me all my reference customers, whatever they might be. So a very easy way of navigating around these different groups. And then if I dive into an organization here, let's fire this up. So this now is a record of a company or an organization. A new window's popped up. We've got some tabs running across the top there. You can have more tabs or less tabs. Initially, we're on the main tab, and this is showing you all of the key information, the main information about this organization. Now this in Workbooks can be changed. These are some of the standard ones that come with it. You can change this, no programming required, very straightforward. And something we can do that other CRM solutions find a little bit difficult to do, a bit like the holy grail of a software system. Try and present to the user on one screen all of the important information they need at that time, rather than having to flick around different screens, tabs, scroll up and down. So here, imagine you're a salesperson. I can see at a glance all the invoices that we've done with that customer by product type. Let me just change this as we're talking about support this morning. Let's imagine we are a support person, so just ignore what I'm doing here. So you're a support person, you call up this customer record. Yes, you've got the main information about that customer. Who are they? Where are they? How do we get hold of them? But right slap bang in the middle there, a summary of open cases with this client. What's outstanding, with a bit of color coding there to draw attention to some high priority calls. So all very customizable. You decide what columns you see on this little section here, but a nice way of presenting to the user, depending on their job role, information that's important to them. And then as we're a support person, we can now see across the top the tabs have changed relevant to what a support person needs to see. So we've got cases there. I'll come back to that later on, but we've got general notes here, what's been going on about that customer, activities, all your activities, calls, meetings, tasks that you're having with that client, all very customizable. You can create new ones here. We also link to Adobe Sign if you want to link to, and DocuSign if you want to link to some electronic file signature capture applications. Emails with this customer, as I said, we can link with any email system. You can see them there together with any attachments as well. Who do we know that works at this company? Well, there's 3 people, Alan, Gracie, Kate, and we can click on their records there and dive in to see more information about Alan. So this now is a record of a person, very similar to what we saw before with the record of the organization. There's those tabs running across the top there, more tabs or less tabs depending on who you are. Initially we're on the main tab here, but again we can see what activities we've done specifically with Alan, emails, opportunities, what opportunities are on the go with Alan and his company, what transactions. This is different. You may not get this with many other CRM solutions. What financial transactions, quotes, orders, invoices, credit notes, POs, customer contracts have we got on the go with that client, and cases on. You decide what you want to see. So we're here today to also look at how you track customer service. So we can see here a number of cases outstanding with this client, and we can see there at a glance a summary of all of those cases. You decide what columns you see as well. Each user can have a different set of columns there, and we can click on any of these to see more information about that particular type of call. So this is an example of what a call, a case, or a ticket record can look like. More information here about this. In this case, this is some sort of installation or some sort of implementation, but all very customizable. Think about what information do you want to know about this implementation. So lots of different types of fields on this screen that you can define as well. And then running across the top in a familiar way, in a consistent way with the other types of records in workbooks, we've got that tab bar again. So show me workbook, show me more information just about this case 1004. Show me all of the activities that we've done or are about to do with this case or anyone on that case. So you've got those tabs running across the top there, more tabs or less tabs, storing in documents, notes, linking it to other records in the system. Maybe looking at SLAs as well. What SLAs have been, what's our SLA performance with this customer? Again, with some useful color coding there also. So that's the cases relevant to a particular customer. If I now, let's just close down all these windows here, get back to a clean desktop. Typically what you might do when you come into the office in the morning, you're a support person, you want to look at your cases, your outstanding cases. So you can have presented in front of you a list of all the cases based on some criteria. Maybe they belong to you, maybe they're at a certain priority level, maybe they're to do with a certain product. And we can click on any of these cases in here and of course dive into that particular case. So you can see here a slightly different screen layout that we had before. This is what I was saying earlier. You can have different screen layouts for these different types of records. Very clever part of Workbooks. So this is here tracking important KPIs relevant to that call. When did we take the call? When was it prioritized? When did we put in our first response? When was it completed by? So there may be some important milestone dates relevant to our SLAs that we want to keep a track of. I said earlier also, because Workbooks is a cloud application, we can also present information to our customer as well via the web. So let me actually just open this up on a new tab. So imagine our customer has a secure access to our website and they can log their own issues. This is something else that you can do with Workbooks. Allow the user to interact with you via the web to see what cases they've got outstanding at the moment. The ability to create a new case as well. Click on create new case and they'll have a simplified view. None of the other more detailed fields that your colleagues would need. This is just for the customer to look to create a new issue. This is all customizable. Just an example here for them to type in the details of that call. When they submit it to you, it clicks create case. That is automatically, instantly a record in the Workbook system with the automation Workbooks. It can be channeled to a particular user or a group of users. We've got a concept of user queues in Workbooks, which is a group of users. Maybe there's a support team, and these submissions, they go to a team rather than a named individual. So a nice way of deflecting non-urgent calls off the help desk, getting people to log their own calls, and seeing the list of calls that they've logged with you at the moment and the status of those calls, being able to update those calls. So that's a little case portal, a customer portal that you could deploy there quite simply. We can assist you with that. Something else that you've got with Workbooks is reporting and dashboards, trying to make sense of what's going on there. So we do have a number of case type reports, but I'll just briefly show you dashboards. And let's go into a customer support dashboard, set up an example here. So, and these are very easily set up by the user to get a summary of what's going on. So there's a number of panels of information here. So let's look at open cases with no overdue activities. Maybe that's some cause for concern, to look at that. High priority issues, of course. Open cases by agent. Monthly SLA summary. Cases by month. SLA, first report SLAs by month. Have we missed them or achieved them? So you tell it what sort of dashboards you want to look at. That may be another sort of screen that you typically might see in Workbooks when you log in. And so all of these screens, you can actually say to Workbooks, right, when I log in, when I log in as a user, that's the first thing I want to see when in the morning. Or add it as a little shortcut on your desktop. All these icons down here are shortcuts. You could add it to your desktop. Make it easier to use. You tell it the sort of layout of your screen that you want when you log in. Okay, so that's a brief overview of Workbooks and customer support activity. What I'd like to do now is just summarize some of the pricing with Workbooks. Now, I should have said initially, there are two different editions, two different versions of Workbooks. There's CRM edition, there's business edition. CRM edition does all the normal CRM things that you'd expect: marketing, creating quotes, customer service, that's all included with CRM edition. Business edition does all of that, plus the ability to create orders, invoices, credit notes, POs, record customer payments. So all the financial transactions, if you like. Now you can mix and match these two together. If you were, say, 5 users, you could have 2 people on business and 3 people on CRM. You can mix and match those two together. There are loads of add-on options that you may want to consider as well. A very popular one is the Outlook integration, the ability to share your emails with Outlook, and also in a bi-directional way, share information with your calendar, your tasks, and your contacts. There's also an Exchange integration as well, if you're using Exchange. So lots of add-on options that we can advise you on once we know your requirements. And last thing on this slide, be realistic. Do you need help? You're a busy person, you're running your company. Do you need some help in setting the system up? We're here on hand to assist you, do the whole job for you if that's your thing. Or maybe there's some things that you want to do yourself. Maybe you want to import your own data. We can give you a little training session on how to import data. It's entirely up to you what kind of level of help we give you there. Okay, so we're nearing the end of our call this morning. As I say, just a brief overview. So please come back to me if you want a more deeper presentation of workbooks specific to your requirements. If you've got any questions, pop those into the question section on your meeting control panel. Looks like a couple of questions have come in. One from Cleo. We use Freshdesk and are planning to move to Workbooks. Good choice. And how can we import our call history? Yes, you can do that with Workbooks. You can import into nearly anything in Workbooks, and certainly if you're able to export your call histories, they will need to be in a CSV type format. So that's pretty straightforward to do, but yes, you can import your call history. Probably what you do first of all, though, is import records of the companies or contacts that those calls relate to. So you would do that first of all, and then as like a second phase, import your call histories. Question from Fraser. Can you have support emails auto answered? Yes, you can. It's not a standard thing. You do need to set up a little script if you want. So someone sends an email to support@fraser.com. Yeah, you could get the system to automatically respond, log the call, and send an email back to that customer. Okay, I don't think there's any more calls coming through. Any more late calls come through, I'll answer those separately via email. So it just remains for me to thank you for your time this morning. Just a brief overview. So do you need a more detailed follow-up presentation with you and your colleagues? Do you want to get on the trial? It's a free trial. Go to workbooks.com. No credit card required. Play around with it yourself. If you get stuck, have any questions, look, there's our contact details. So my name again is Tim Wilmot, tim@wizard-systems.com. Thanks very much for your time this morning, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Watch out for the email with the link to recording. Check your spam folder if it's slipped in there. But we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.